Ladies and gentlemen, hello everyone. Welcome once again here to your platform. Much beloved, the platform for awakening consciousness. It's the headline of international news, making headlines on the continent. The Ghanaian President, on a visit to the AES, who was sent on a special mission by the Ivorian President, Alassane Dramane Ouattara, who is at the service of Western imperialism. Ouattara, who is at the service of France. And the Ghanaian President from Mali responded to President Alassane Dramane Ouattara. It's a big disappointment for Ouattara to see the president, this heavyweight on whom he relied, to successfully carry out his mission back within the ECOWAS, from the AES states, to see the latter, obviously, take a different path. But the Ghanaian president also made a very, very strong move. We can also be like that. So, what's happening? You know, a few days ago, when the Ivorian president Alassane Ouattara was hosting his Ghanaian counterpart in Abidjan, when received him, they discussed several aspects, but then he said he was entrusting the Ghanaian president, Mahama, to go to the S states and deliver his message to them. The message that it's better to be 15 than 3. We had hosted a video conference on this topic here. It's better to be 15 than 3, since there are 15 ECOWAS states. And the AES was supposed to be 15. I was going to say, the AES, they are 3 in number, as if he himself couldn't pick up the phone and call them to tell them. As if he himself was forbidden from going to the AES territory, but he already knows what prevents him from going. So he entrusted this task to the latter. And the latter went there. And it's from there that the latter responds to him. That is to say, his mission fails, and moreover, what they tell him there, that's where the Ghanaian president did very, very well. So, that's what we are going to discuss in this video conference, dear ladies and gentlemen. But before continuing, I ask you to share this video conference as much as possible. Leave a lot of comments. If you don't have a specific comment, just leave a comment. To dare is already to win. To dare is already to win, because we are a generation that must dare. There you go. That's our political slogan. So, let's dive deeper. What did the Ghanaian president, Dramane Mahama, had to say? His name is John Dramane Mahama, President of the Republic of Ghana. So, during the press conference following his meeting with his counterpart Assimigoita, he said this. He says that the lack of trust must be corrected so that mutual respect can exist between the leaders of each of these groups within the sub-region. I will repeat this part. He says that the lack of trust must be corrected so that mutual respect can exist between the leaders of each of these groups. Within the sub-region, he continues, and we must work to establish relationships worthy of the name between the AES, the Confederation of Sahel States, which is an irrevocable reality, and the ECOWAS. Excuse me. So, I will repeat. He responds to President Alassane Dramane Ouattara, who told him, go tell them to abandon their thing and come. And he went to the field. He saw that it is an irrevocable reality. Nothing can be changed. It's over. So, he wants Ouattara and his friends to take into account these irrevocable realities, and for Ouattara and his friends to start removing themselves. Think about respecting the leaders of the AES, and even the leaders of each of these groups. The AES is a group, the ECOWAS is a group. In the same way, the leader of the AES must respect the leader of the ECOWAS, And it must be vice versa. It must be vice versa. This is not a slap in the face to Ouattara, but the gentleman is right. It's the truth. It's the reality. Let's go deeper. He continues. I repeat this part, he says. We must work to establish relationships worthy of the name between the AES and ECOWAS. As always, we are among ourselves. We are brothers. We are meant to live together. That is why, on behalf of Ghana, in my capacity as president, we commit to continuing our support to the Confederation and to the AES Confederation, and to work on strengthening ties and relationships between these two groups, the Confederation of Sahel States and ECOWAS, in our West African region. This is what he said. He speaks on behalf of Ghana. He speaks in his capacity as president of Ghana, of the Republic of Ghana. He says they will open up to continue supporting the AES, to continue ensuring that the AES does its job well and that ECOWAS also does its job well. What remains clear is that there is the AES, there is ECOWAS, with different objectives. It is no longer a question of saying, this one must join this or that. There is none of that. That is to say, when President Ouattara is sitting in his office over there, he dreams. When he hears that ECOWAS, when he hears that the AES now has its biometric passport, they think it's a joke. When they learn that the AES has established a unified force, they think that it's nonsense, as they would say in Côte d'Ivoire. No, the AES is determined. But you have to be on the ground to understand, to know to what extent the people of the AES are firmly committed to this confederation. So, that is an answer. Who doesn't please Alessandra at all? Draman Ouattara. We no longer know what he is going to do. Yet he is the one who tasked the gentleman. We no longer know what he is going to do. Will he send another person? Or will he himself be forced to join, since the position this president has taken is a good one? We must respect each person in there. Each one. Instead of going with a spirit of petty conflict, we are all in West Africa, on the same African territory. We must support each other, respect each other. There you go, that's all. So, ladies and gentlemen, here is the scathing response that the Ghanaian president has just given to his counterpart, who seemed to be his mentor, President Alassandra Ouattara. So, we will continue to follow this news. Everything that will result from it, we will come back to discuss here on the Tribune of Consciousness Watch. So, thank you for sharing the video conference as much as possible. I will be back shortly with new updates. This was the voice of your one and only samurai.